I'm the only one showing up in this ambassador program that didn't have the blue check at the time, and I was like a YouTuber. Everyone else was coming from like filming celebrities and like A-list spaces, and I'm like, well, how can I make a splash? Like, no one just wakes up creative inherently, in my opinion. You have to push yourself to like get excited, or like editing, right? The first 30 minutes of editing suck. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. and you're like, whoa, what just happened? Stop. Exactly.
What do you say to all of that noise of like, what's Canon doing? They're falling behind.
My theory, I can't really speak to this. This isn't Sam as a Canon ambassador. This is Sam as a dude.
Welcome back to the Full-Time Filmmaker Show. Pretty exciting guest. We got Sam Newton. You've probably seen him from the Peter McKinnon videos.
I'm the new Peter McKinnon.
My Nikon Song, if we're going down the route of music.
You got a Leica or a Sony, girl, what do you be shooting with? She laughed, said, baby, I got it. She reached in the bag, and that's when I saw it. No, she shoots on Nikon.
The Nikon. See, here's the thing with the Nikon Song, though. It used to make fun of Nikons as potatoes and everything. Yeah. And now it's like Nikon's almost kind of cool.
Yeah, they're killing it.
They're starting to come back. So are you going to have like a follow-up to that song?
No, I'm stepping away. I like to think, maybe I had a little bit of a hand in that because, we bullied them into buying cool. red and I knew it would piss people off. So I'm like, let's have some fun.
Rage bait in some ways,
And it works so easily.
It does, yeah. Okay, guys, let's get into dope or nope. First off, the Apple Vision Pro is a terrible investment. I would not recommend getting it. So just a heads up, this is not the dope part of it. All right. But if you do have an Apple Vision Pro.
I'm already saying nope because of the case so far. That's heinous.
Savage.
Wait for it. Hold on. If you do have an Apple Vision Pro, you ever tried one of these?
I have before.
Okay. The problem with these is that you put it on and it's like extremely front heavy.
Play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
And so like your whole head is just like bobbing forward, and after a while your neck just kills. Like everyone who's ever reviewed it says that. So the solution is this piece of headgear. Same functionality, but suddenly the weight of the whole thing is dispersed throughout your entire head. And I think you should put it on. Here we go. I don't want to put it on.
I'm guessing it's not on because I just see black right now.
It's not even plugged in though. But how does it feel? Like weight distribution wise?
I don't know what the before is, but it doesn't feel great. It feels like what it looks like, I'm sure.
You look like you've been through some stuff.
Okay, I already know where this is going. I don't even want to call this a dope for myself. After seeing it on you, I don't think it's actually that cool.
It's pretty heinous, yeah. I would kind of hammer nope on that one, just from an aesthetic point of view. Just the whole packaging so far, bringing it out of that case and then showing me what it looks like. Bringing that literally anywhere is the worst thing ever.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I'm going to say a nope, and I should be bringing products that are worth a dope. So, you know what? It's a nope.
I've got a product here, and this is like the opposite of Apple Vision Pro. It's like year 5000. Mine is like taking it back old school. I've got, from my favorite movie ever, a Dune photo book.
Oh.
I have a special place in my heart for Dune, so I had to get that book.
Yeah, you've seen Dune in theaters like 8 times?
Yes, I've seen it a lot.
It's a dope for me. I mean, that's the perfect coffee table book right there, Little white space in here.
I don't know if it's still on sale. It's like half off right now. That was $30.
Yeah, Dune didn't make enough money as it is, so they gotta.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a dope. I'm giving you a dope on that one.
Sick.
All right, what do you got?
All right,
let's see it.
I have what has become my entire personality. You obviously know Monopoly, right?
Yeah, of course.
Monopoly, the cherished game known by millions around the world. What's the one thing everyone hates about Monopoly?
It takes forever.
It takes forever.
Yeah,
it breaks families apart.
What if I could tell you that there is a way to play Monopoly, have all of the fun parts about Monopoly, and strip away that horrible part of Monopoly, and then put it in a few deck of cards, and you could just carry it wherever you go.
Okay.
And then you just bust it out. 15-minute games. I have to sell this game because I love it so much and I love playing it so much. So the more people I know that play it, the better my life is, because then I can just sit down and be like, because if you guys played it, you'd know how fun it was. And then we could just easily, before the started, be like, let's get a quick round in.
Okay,
it's my fixation. So
sounds like an addiction, but
definitely want to learn it.
It's a hard thing to just label without playing, but I promise you.
Sam, I don't know, man. I'm having I'm having a hard time. I get it. Like, I understand, but I've never played it.
What's tough to you? Is it the fact
He-
that
he's
is
a-
joy tough for you?
Sometimes,
is,
yeah.
Bringing people together tough for you?
Yeah, occasionally.
Anytime a new board game gets brought out with Landon, he's like, oh.
Yeah,
learning
here's the
stuff.
thing, okay, and I feel like everyone could agree with this
It's
to
true,
an extent.
yeah.
Learning a new game is one of the worst things.
But that's what I'm saying. This is
ever.
what makes it so great. It takes maybe 1 or 2 games tops, like a half hour max, and then you're good for the rest of your life. And it's just endless smiles and
So that's
laughter.
faster than regular Monopoly.
Oh,
because I can't stand
much
how
faster.
long.
15 minutes.
I feel like we have to play it first.
I feel like we do. Before I can give an official rating, we got to play around.
Just the rest of the podcast is me explaining Monopoly Deal. Here's the thing. In the comments, anybody who's played,
Yeah.
they're going to be showing up for me. They're going to be like, dude, that's it right there.
You're
Sam
probably
Brown
right.
disabled.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you a dope, just because I would agree. I think once you figure it out, I'm sure it's a blast, right? What do you got, Bryson?
That was a pity dope, though. I don't think I want that.
Well, I could say
That's-
nope.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think it's a dope because I love the idea of like something physical to do with people, like just detached.
It's
That's
true.
why I like my photo.
It's true. I feel like for some reason, like analog, like literally, I brought the Apple Vision Pro and I got a dope. You brought a book and you got a dope. You brought cards and I'm willing to give you a dope.
All right, what do I get in the
That's a
bag?
good dope. Yeah.
2 dopes up? I love it.
Do you think it's dope? Do you think it's dope?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah.
We got to play around after this is done, though.
It might be a tough, especially with how I've already learned that you don't like it. It's going to be, now I'm going to feel like I have to prove to you every second, like, you're having fun right now.
Yeah, having a good time. Okay, guys, let's move on to the gear cage. So you're a Canon guy.
I am.
Right? You're a Canon ambassador, first off. I'm sure they don't tell you much in terms of stuff that's
Nothing.
coming out or literally nothing at all.
Yeah.
Anything that Canon has recently put out or that you are semi-aware of that gets you excited, though, on the gear side of things?
I'm shooting on the C80 right now, pretty much exclusively, and the R5 too.
Mm-hmm.
And the C80's been an absolute dream
Really?
so far in terms of like coming from the C70.
Okay, I was going to
Yeah.
ask you around the C70 before. Were you always Canon or were you Sony before?
No, I was Canon. So
Really?
the first camera I actually bought, funny enough, was Nikon. Was the D3200, like
Okay.
kit Costco.
Mine, yeah, I had a D50-100.
Yeah,
That was my first camera.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
the one right before that, just it came at Costco with a kit lens. I bought it,
Mm-hmm.
did a shoot, returned it the next day, and then like a week later got hit up for a different shoot. And I'm like, I should probably just buy this camera. And so it was funny going back to that same Costco and then going back to the same
Can I buy
person that
this
was
again?
there. And they're just like,
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Whenever I get buyer's remorse, I'm like, please
Yeah, I'm
be a
like,
different
wow.
person.
So I picked that up and then I had that for like a year or two. And then Panasonic came out with the GH4, which like at the time was crazy. You could do 1080 at like 96 frames a second
Well,
or something.
that was the
weird
first like
that.
4K.
Yeah, 4K,
too,
true
right?
4K.
Yeah.
And then it also had slow motion at 1080. And it was like, hell yeah. Got the GH4, shot with that for a few years. And then I gave in 2016 or 2017 to the 1DX2. Which
dude.
was just like the camera at the time.
Yeah.
And I got that, and then I just went full on into Canon, and then from that went to the R5. Like right after I bought the R5, Canon reached out to me, and then so I've been in it. So I've been on Canon for 8 years now.
That's
I've
crazy.
been an ambassador for 4. So
What was that like,
That's
them
so
hitting
sick.
you up for the first time?
coolest thing of my life. I didn't believe it. I didn't respond to the email for
Really?
3 days.
You
or
thought it was
2
a
days.
scam or
Thought it was a
something?
scam. So yeah, I got that email, freaked out a little bit, and it moved so fast from the moment I got it. They're like, hey, let's set up a call. And I was like, cool. And they wanted to tell me a little bit about they're opening up a new ambassador program, and they were thinking about having me be a part of it. So I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And that was right after I did the Peter McKinnon song, and I made the Nikon song, and I made a bunch of things that had obviously got me on Canon's radar.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of travel films with Canon specifically. And they were like, hey, we want you to be, or we want to just talk to you about this ambassador program. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And they sent me a calendar invite for the call, and I never forget like seeing 9 emails on it, and I'm like, what? And I hopped on, and there were like 8 other people.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm like, what is happening right now? I thought they were just gonna walk me through. And I quickly, within like 5 minutes, realized this wasn't them telling me about the ambassador program. This was an interview. Like I was being interviewed like right off the spot. So like it went from me casually being like, okay, to like, oh shit, I gotta sell myself. Like, why is this?
They didn't even tell you.
Yeah, and then I hopped on, and it was a great experience. I think I obviously did a good enough job. And within like 3 weeks after that, or a month after that, they had hit me up and they're like, hey, we loved it. We want you to be a part of this program. And yeah, from getting an email to a month later, I was part of this ambassador program. And then
it's crazy.
Yeah, life just kind of changed very, very quickly after that.
What comes with that? Like, what are some of the perks, I guess?
So I like to say it was kind of like a TSA pre-check for Canon ambassadors, meaning they're like, obviously Canon is a huge brand. They have a lot of different things to cover, and a lot of times it could get bureaucratic, for lack of a better word. Sure. You have to go through a lot of people, make sure everyone's happy, and I think they wanted to come up with a smaller group of ambassadors that really represented their brand well, that could work with a smaller team in Canon, and then it's like, cool, we know Sam's stuff, we know he's good.
Yeah,
we know he hates Nikon.
Yeah, and then exactly, we know he
he
hates the enemy. But yeah, and so I'm able to not bypass like a lot of the hoops, but it's like pre-approved. Like Sam can pitch us projects, and there's a much higher chance that they'll say yes. I'm the only one showing up in this ambassador program that didn't have the blue check at the time, and I was like a YouTuber. Everyone else was coming from like filming celebrities and like A-list spaces, and I'm like, well, how can I make a splash? I'm definitely the odd man out, and I'm like, well, the one thing I have is I'm faster than everybody. Like I'll get a film out in a month and just pitch. And so I was like, so what do you want me to do? And they were like, oh no, just let us know what you want to do. We want to help support you. And I pitched a film called Eye of the Storm. And I was like, hey, I have this idea about my friend Julia Gartner, an incredible travel photographer based out of Italy. And she has this crazy story. Her dad passed away when she was really young. She has this fear of the mountains, but she always goes back to the mountains because of that kind of like fear of it. And I was like, I want to tell her story really badly. Can I make it happen? They're like, sure. Got the budget approved. And they didn't realize. I'm like, cool. I flew out there the next week. I had the film done in 3 weeks, and I had a premiere planned a month away. And so by the time they had just started this program, I had not only a film finished, but like a premiere, like in LA with 130 people that came out just to show off this film. And I think really quickly that's what like flipped the switch in their brains of like, oh man, maybe Sam. Yeah, he's a good guy to work with.
This guy's different.
Yeah, I had to prove myself, and I think it did.
That's sick.
So, and you're shooting, what did you shoot that on, like C80?
C70.
C70, okay, nice. So on the C80, I mean, let's talk gear a little bit too here. Like what draws you to the C80? Because I was on the C70 for a while too. Good camera, a few shortcomings, I think.
The screen
right?
probably.
The screen sucked.
That little wobbly screen.
Yeah, it was also
every C70.
Very soft image. I felt like.
Which I liked the softness of the C70.
I didn't mind it too much, but it was at times I was like, it doesn't really feel like 4K.
Yeah.
It feels a little fuzzy. So moving to the C80, what are some of the best parts? I guess?
If you would love the C80 is definitely much more crisp. Which I like with the C70, I never felt like I'd never need a mist filter in my life because I'm like, all right, cool. But I love it. Kind of had that filmic look to it. But the C80 does take, I think, one smaller step into that digital direction, but not in like a horrible way, I guess. Sure. But everything that I loved about the C70, and like I love the form factor. I love the way it fits in my hand. I'm like, as opposed to just like a R5 or any other FX3. It's like they're small and you have to rig them up to feel good when you're shooting, and it's just like right out of the box. I can just handheld and be like, nice.
I do agree with that.
The built-in NDs are just absolutely, for what I do, I'm like,
I miss that, man.
Just quickly hop through. But then, I mean, C70 had all of those, but then now it's 6K full frame, which obviously C70 was Super 35. Yeah. So to have that full frame sensor and
triple base ISO.
And the big one, triple base ISO. So Canon finally has a low light camera that like performs extremely well, up to 12,800, and then on top of that, it has the third base ISO at 3,200 now. So that has come in handy so many times, and I'm so used to the C70, so it was just a very seamless transition.
I'm wondering, for someone who's like enveloped in Canon, there's been a lot of like, I don't know if it's unnecessary, but like kind of hate going towards Canon, just like in the progress of products. Yeah. Kind of the same now with the FX3. People are like, okay, when is it happening? But like, what do you say to all of that noise of like, what's Canon doing? They're falling behind.
I mean, I think from like the cinema side, they're doing well. On like the mid-tier cinema side, the C80, C400, they have like Sony obviously has like the top end like Venice and Burano, and like
Yeah.
they have the budgets from all of that.
Yeah.
And Canon has that like ceiling where it's like they don't have a $20,000 cinema camera. And like my theory, I can't really speak to this. This isn't Sam as a Canon ambassador. This is Sam as a dude. But like my theory is like Sony has much more interest to invest in like the filmmaking side of their brand. And Canon, like when you think of, but they don't have that high-end cinema. So like in the ecosystem of filmmaking, right? Sony wants filmmakers because then you can work your way up to that like $30,000. But what does Canon do well that everybody still loves them for? We're coming from a creator perspective of people that shoot video. Like what people still love Canon for is like the hybrid camera. Like if you want a hybrid camera, the R5 II is like hard to beat. Like if you want something that's like their photo side is still like, no photographers are complaining about what Canon's bringing to the table because their photos are still just top tier, incredible. I think from the video side, I can't speak to what they're trying to do because they don't really let me know. I know from my experience with the C80, it's been incredible. But from like the content, like not content creator, but that like where you want something like, I guess, an FX3 competitor, Canon hasn't come out with like a box camera that has that. And that's where I feel like some people are wanting Canon to push into that direction. And
Do you think that's on the horizon?
I have no idea. I would hope. I've given them my thoughts, and I'm sure the whole internet has given them thoughts.
I think they know. I think
definitely were.
I think it's gonna start getting a bit more competitive now. Every camera is so good nowadays. Like it's really hard to find a camera that's not pretty much capable to do whatever you need it to do. And so when everyone is already so good, it's like,
what's the next step?
Yeah, what's the next step? Like, how do you innovate from there?
Voice commands.
Voice commands.
You're laughing about it, but dude, how like all these phones have?
Well, like, what voice command would you want?
Like, hey, Canon, start recording. Like just something simple like this for all.
I
That
guess,
would be crazy. Like,
that would be
or like,
nice.
if I'm doing this for YouTube, I'm always like, or hey, Canon, ISO 800 f3. And just tell it your settings. That could be why
I can get behind that. I like that.
And it actually worked because I feel like I was an Alexa hater until I got an Alexa in my home, and now I'm like a snob. All my friends hate it because they don't know how to turn my lights on and off. I'm like, oh, actually, you have to ask Alexa to turn on vibe mode. And
I mean, I'm on the FX3. I think if the FX3 Mark II had voice commands, even if it was basically the exact same camera, I would probably.
It seems like
really
a
would.
little touch. And I mean, that's what Apple's done. It's like, how can we just do tiny little convenient upgrades and keep the same phone for years?
How can we throttle
and sell it back
our
to you?
innovation?
Yeah.
Except their voice commands suck.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Framer. If you're a video creator, your work is your reputation. And in a crowded industry, the way you present that work really matters. Let's be real. We've all sent out an email with our portfolio that was really just a bunch of Google Drive and YouTube links. It gets the point across, but it doesn't exactly elevate your brand. But if you're looking to level up, Framer is one of the best ways to build a beautiful professional website fast. It's no code, super intuitive, and it feels like you're using a design tool. But instead of just a mock-up, you're publishing a real-world working site. And you can start with over 700 working templates. Customize everything, your reel, your layout, your branding, add scroll animations to make it dynamic, use the built-in content management system to manage your content, and even localize your site with one click if you're working with international clients. And with Framer, here's something that's actually super underrated. It's their live collaboration. So if you're working with a team, everyone can hop in and make changes at the same time. It's like Google Docs, but for web design. You don't need a developer, you don't need to learn code, you just need a vision. And Framer gives you the tools to bring that to life. So you can try it free with my link below. And if you use that link, you actually get 25% off for your first 3 months. First impressions 100% matter. So make yours unforgettable. Thank you, Framer, for sponsoring this episode. So guys, Creative Workflow, this is a segment where our guests can basically take us behind the scenes and show us how they're actually putting together their various projects, right? And so I love this segment because I like to see how other creators operate, because I think it's very easy to kind of get inside your own head and be in your own bubble of like, I'm going to use Apple Notes and I'm going to use Notion or all these different things. It's interesting to see like the end result from a creator and then go and see what actually went into making that come to life, right? So I'm excited to see this.
Because I'm a travel filmmaker, I'm able to like, most of my projects I'm shooting are like me and 2 buddies, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. And since I'm on YouTube, I get full creative control. It's not for a client. I tell everybody who's on my YouTube channel, it's like, I get to make this. you are just like either the ad read or you're just kind of signing off on you want to be involved in my channel.
Yeah.
They get no creative input. Canon, had a little bit more creative input, but that's because it was for I directed one of the launch videos for the R5 Mark II, which was incredible to do. An incredible opportunity for like me being a Canon shooter to becoming a Canon ambassador to directing like part of the launch campaign was insane. So naturally with a big brand like Canon, I needed to walk them through my process. It's, a lot's on the line here. And so I'm like, all right. So we made a milling up board.
Normally Sam's pretty scrappy.
Normally when I say I'm on my notes app is like 90% of where I live and everything's up here. Most of the time it's like just me. It's in my head and I don't have to explain it to people. So that's why I love my notes app because I like to find the song first and then just kind of like
build the story.
The story around that.
Love it.
But for this one, obviously I had to give them a little bit more planning. So I built out a milling up board. In it, I have my inspiration films. This film is about a pilot named Slick Bomb. Me and my buddy Connor McCann, we were talking about what we could do for this. And we had just watched Top Gun Maverick. And we're like, planes. Yeah, we want to do planes. Like we want to shoot something with planes. And so I posted on my story. And the beautiful thing about the internet is like you just put it out there, and a lot of times it comes back to you. And I was looking for pilots, and I got connected with Brad Wenzel, who is a photographer who shoots planes for a living, like World War II planes, and he's incredible. And Brad connected me with Slick Bomb, who is a retired pilot, fighter pilot. Okay. And just top of the level, like the best you can get. And he teaches Top Gun classes, or he has in the past. Yeah. And so he's the guy. Like Slick's the coolest dude you will ever meet. And he's so nice, and he's so
What's his nickname?
Slick Bomb. Slick is his nickname.
Oh, that's his nickname.
But you just call him Slick.
Nickname's Tom Cruise.
John Slick Bomb is his full name. But the nicest guy. And then Brad put a list of like 10 pilots together for this film for us, and we emailed all of them. And Slick came back. Like within 30 minutes, we're like, here's what we're doing. We're putting this together. And Slick came back to us with an email titled like, why you should pick me. And he just laid it out. Like his wife's family has an airport that we can use out in Pennsylvania. He owns a 1942 biplane. He has a Land Rover Defender that we could also use. I was like, yeah. And he also knew who I was. And he was like, I love your channel. And I'm like, randomly, I'm like, how does a pilot know?
That's crazy.
So that's the whole thing. We got connected with Slip. Yeah. It's like, I wanted to make a film about planes. And so we started building out this milling up board. And from there, it's just like going to frame set and pulling up frames. Really, really love doing that. Even for my travel films that aren't like scripted, I like just finding like certain frames from different shoots. Where I'm like,
frame set is what exactly?
Shot deck.
It's like shot deck.
Frame set and shot deck are very similar, where it's just a library of different frames from different films. You can just type it in and type in what you want, like plane films and a bunch of different.
Got it. Because I have used shot deck, but frame set, okay.
It's just a good way to like. I think the creative process too is something where like no one just wakes up like creative inherently, in my opinion. Like some people, I guess, might be slightly more creative than others, but I genuinely think it's something you have to work for. And so like starting, you have to push yourself to like get excited, or like editing, right? The first 30 minutes of editing suck. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. and you're like, whoa, what just happened? Stop. Exactly. And so you have to get past, we only had like 2 real flights where we could do air to air, like helicopter and plane. So I would say if I went back and redid, like the film itself is beautiful, but like, and there were some really good air to air shots, but like I would have wanted another like 2 days to do just air to air.
Yeah. Dude, I can't even imagine. That has to be so hard.
Yeah. It was and it's like I'm doing behind the scenes. So it was like, I really wanted to get in the air and shoot, but I'm like, when I'm trying to double dip the weird world of YouTube. It's like, I'm trying to make this film, but also I need to make a BTS of making the film. Yeah. And then we have X amount of photo assets of me with the camera. And so we're like,
dude, so exhausting.
Well, the plane is going up. That's another sunset. So that's a perfect opportunity. While they're up shooting that, I can be on the ground talking about the camera. So it was like,
people have no idea.
It's so hard to jump.
Yeah. So many boxes to check. And like, for me, I'm thinking I'm directing this film while simultaneously being like on YouTube and like, so this is fun, right? We're having, you can't like, you have to,
and you can't mess up the real shot that matters. Yeah. But like you have
to keep people engaged. So totally. It's that level, but found a bunch of reference frames. And then I went into like reference music. This was a really cool opportunity because I worked with my buddy Richard Beck, who actually composes music himself, and he made the entire soundtrack from scratch. Wow. And so like to be able to just like describe how I wanted it to feel, and have him send back a song that I'm like, oh my God. And I know it'll be so
That'd
unique.
be so nice. And
Yeah, that sounds
listening
amazing.
through.
And it's not like, like I'm an artless guy. I've been out, but like in the travel space too, if they ever drop like an absolute heater of a song on their catalog, like I'll make a film and I know I'm going to hear it somewhere else, but it was so cool to have like him make the song from scratch. And it was just absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to put into words. But boy, is it easy to feel.
Dude, I love it. Thanks so much.
Huge. Appreciate it, man.
This has been awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for watching.
Guys.
We got these coming out every single week. If you want to check out Sam's video, we'll put it in the description below. And then, is there anything else you want to link?
Come to the channel, hang out, everything. I always say, if you did watch it all the way to the end of the podcast, shoot me a DM. Let me know if you did listen to this whole thing. I appreciate it. But thank you for having me. It's cool to be out here in Salt Lake, skiing a little, enjoying Utah. And,
Thanks for coming out. Okay, we'll have a safe trip home. This guy's driving back to LA today or tomorrow.
Right now. Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Hey, guys, if you want to watch this full-length episode with Sam, go ahead and join Full-Time Filmmaker. There's a link in the description. You can actually watch these full-length episodes. You can interact with us live in the chat. And Full-Time Filmmaker members get to watch these videos a week before they're published on YouTube. So go check that out, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.